Hello everyone, today I will be showing you guys helpful shortcuts for both your desktop and your keyboard that can save you time and energy when completing normal everyday tasks. Let's get into it. So to start, we are going to need some sort of text editor like Google Documents or Word documents, something like that. You could just manipulate text easily, whichever you want will work fine. So to start a few things, I bet a lot of people will go and highlight text using left click and then right click it to copy, cut, or paste. Google or Microsoft Word has a few different paste options, but that's generally how people do it. But imagine trying to copy something but never touching your mouse or your touchpad. You can do this on Windows and Mac computers by doing Shift and arrow keys. So left arrow will highlight the left side, right arrow will go right, up arrow will go up one line, and down arrow will go down one line. You could also do Shift and Home, and that'll just go to the beginning of the line, and Shift and End, which will go to the end of the line. And then, so copy it, so if you go and copy this from Google, and then to copy it, you would do Control or Command C, C as in cat, and then that copies it to your clipboard. So now you want to paste it. So I'm going to go to a new line, and I'm going to do Control, Command, V, V as in vet, and that's going to paste it. Control P, which is what you might have thought paste was, is actually print. So if you do Control or Command P, that's going to print your document. So let's say you copy this from online. You copy this from the internet. A lot of times websites will have different font sizes, different fonts, different formatting issues, but you don't want it to format. So you copy this. So I'm going to copy this. But I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be the 11 font with Times New Roman. But if I try to paste it in, it's just going to do that. But if I do Control or Command Shift V, in normal documents like Google Documents, that would actually paste it. But on Word documents, you actually have to do it because for some reason Word documents disable this one. So normally, like if you were to go to a Google document, like right here, you could do Control Shift V, and that would paste it in without formatting. But on Word documents, you actually have to right click it and then go over here and then right here. This is paste without formatting, basically. And you paste that in, and it'll paste without formatting. That's just a little annoying thing with Word documents that I haven't been able to figure out. So a couple other fun ones are Control or Command B, which is bold, Control or Command I, which is italics, and Control or Command U, which is underline. And if you press each of them again, it basically changes it to true or false. True meaning that it does have it, and false meaning that it doesn't have it. And then for Windows users, you can do Windows key and V, and this is going to open your clipboard. So right now I don't have anything on my clipboard, but if I was to go and copy this, and then do Windows key and V, okay, why didn't it copy? Well, apparently there's something wrong with my clipboard right now. Let me see if I can copy it from up here. Okay, so apparently it's Word. Word doesn't like me. So once it's in your clipboard, you can hold text. So if you just copy something from a website, you can actually also copy images to your clipboard. So if you have an image that you want to paste, you could copy it and paste it that way. But this is so, like if you have multiple things that you're going to be using, like you have this certain phrase and you write your paper, you have a certain phrase you're going to be using a lot, you could use your clipboard to just, instead of typing that phrase every time, you could just do Windows V and then go down if you have more than one and click Enter, or click it, or if you want to paste it without formatting, press the 3 dots right here, and then press this clipboard with a little A, and that's going to paste without formatting. But the formatting right here was the same. So a couple other ones are Control or Command A, which just copies all of the text on your pages, and then Control X, which deletes everything. So, and then if you wanted to undo it because you accidentally deleted your whole page by using Control A and Control X, and you didn't want to do that, you could do Control Z, which is undo. A couple other fun ones are Alt and Tab, and this will allow you to switch between different tabs. And then Alt and F4, which basically kills a window. So if I open Notepad right here and I do Alt F4, it just kills it. It turns it off. It force shuts it down. So you can use that if you don't want to, like, if you're going to close an app and you're in it, but you don't want to come up here and press this, you could just do Alt and F4 and just kill your app automatically. Another one would be for Windows users would be Windows and D, which just hides and shows all windows at the same time. Even if you have multiple screens, like if you have 2 monitors or 3 monitors, you do Windows and D and it just hides them all, so you can't see them. And then if you press it again, it shows them all. Another one would be Windows and Arrow, which allows you to lock things to a certain side. So like in that case, I took my Google window and I pushed to the left side, and I took Word and put it on the right side. And then if I wanted to undo that, I could just do this. Okay, and then Windows key, if you press that, that's going to open your start menu. So you could search for things like the Settings app, or Bing, or Microsoft Bing, or something like that. And then if you press it again, it closes your start window. And then a couple other Windows app features that are specific to Windows is a Windows key in I, which is going to open your settings. Windows key in L, which will lock your computer. And by locking your computer, that means that you have to put your passcode in, your PIN or passcode in when you lock your computer. Like if you were to shut your computer down at night and then open it back up in the morning, you have to put your PIN or password in. Basically, Windows and Lock does that. So if you have to leave a room and you don't want to leave your computer unlocked, you can just do Windows L and it locks it. So no one who doesn't know the password cannot get into your computer and mess with it. Another fun one is Windows key in M, which just closes all windows. It minimizes all windows, like hitting this little minus button on your windows. It minimizes them all. This is similar to Windows D, but you can't do Windows M to close them all and then Windows M to open them all back up again. It just minimizes them all, and if you want to open them back up again, you have to go and click them, or do Alt-Tab to open them. And then you have Windows key and part scan, which basically takes a screenshot of your whole screen. And depending on how you have monitors set up, if you have more than one, it might also take a screenshot of both monitors. Now, if you want to do, so say you want to take a screenshot of just this right here, this red text. You can do something you can use something on Windows computer called the snipping tool. I think MacOS has a similar tool. I don't know the command for it. But on Windows computer, you can do Windows key, Shift, and S. And this is going to open a window. I don't think you guys can view it, but it's gonna fade your screen, and then on the top, at least on Windows 11, on the top, there's this little box, and there's like 5 buttons on it. You have a rectangle mode, a freeform mode, and if you hover over the buttons, it'll give you the names. And then you have window mode and full screen mode, and then X, and that basically just cancels it. But if you click escape, it'll also cancel it that way. So I usually use the rectangular mode because it's a rectangle. You can kind of form it how you want. And how you use that is go to the top left corner that you want to highlight, and then left click and hold, and then drag your mouse to the bottom right corner that you want to do. And then let go of your mouse, and then you'll get a little snippet. So if I bring this down, so see, I got a little snippet, and if I want to save this, I can save it, and then I could send it to someone, and they only see part of my screen instead of the whole thing. I could also edit it by going down here to the crop image, and then I can make it shorter, smaller, I could do anything I want. And then when you're done, you can click the apply, which is a check mark, and if you don't want to do it, you can click the cancel button, the X, or just press escape. You can also draw in your images using this draw feature. There's a highlighter you can also do. It's not working because it's black and I'm using yellow. You can change the color if it'll let me. Oh, I think it froze. Okay, well, mine froze. It shouldn't happen to you. probably using up too much CPU. But then you press this little save icon, and then you'll get a little pop-up, and you can give it its title name, pick the file you want between a PNG and a JPEG, and pick where you want it to save, and click save, and then you can exit out. See if I can close this. Okay, there it goes. Here, now I can show you. So it's going to give you this little window, and you can click your different types, JPEG, PNG, or a GIF file too. I didn't know you had a GIF file. You can do it that way. Then you give it a name and save it. Okay, and then you got Windows, Shift, and Escape. And some of you may know what a task manager is. I believe macOS has a similar thing under a different name, but Control, Shift, and Escape. And this is going to bring up your task manager. And what your task manager allows you to do is it allows you to view your apps that are currently running, and then apps that are running in the background. Like right here, I have 106 processes running in the background. Most of these don't take up a lot of processing power, mostly just stuff that Windows needs to run. But then you have stuff like this Discord app. It's taking up a fair amount of memory. Or Google Chrome, which is taking up a lot of memory, and then it gives you percentages. And if you drop down, you can view like specific things. But one thing I like about this is, say, like the snipping tool, it froze a minute ago. I could have come in here and I could have right-clicked on the app. So I first left-click on it and then right-click it. So I say I want to end Discord. Well, I get a few options for Discord. I can expand it, which will just show me, that little arrow will show me all the stuff. I can end task, which will just kill it. Just shuts the processing down so you can restart it. And then you have a few other options like how much resources is taking up, and you can set that to values, percents, same with the disk and the network and stuff. And then a couple things that are faded out. That's just, it's a useful tool. You can also add tasks if you, I don't know how to add tasks, but there's plenty of good YouTube videos online if you want to do stuff like that. You can do it like running batch files to run certain programs and stuff like that if you're a coder. Stuff like that. That's just an interesting tool to use. And then a few other things that are good to know about are desktop shortcuts. So a desktop shortcut, like, let me grab this OBS thing right here. This is a desktop shortcut. This is not the app. It's a shortcut that runs my app. So if I were to double click it, it would run my app. So like if I was to double click this block bench here. This is just a shortcut that'll run my .exe file in my computer, and it'll run it. So by double clicking on it, it'll run my program. You can see it ran. But I could delete this shortcut or make a new shortcut. So if I like right click here, you see a few things. And pin to taskbar, you probably know that this little bottom thing or side thing, depending on where you have yours, is a taskbar. And basically that allows you to pin certain apps. So like if I was to close this app, you see it disappears right now. But if I was to pin it to taskbar and then close it, it stays there. Now I could just single click it to open it. But I don't want to pin it. But that's just like I have all these apps down here, they're all pinned because I use them all the time for school or work or all of that stuff. So they're useful to have quick access to instead of trying to go here and open them here, or go into my start menu and typing in Blockbench or whatever app I want to open and clicking open or not. You can also create manual shortcuts to, like, let's see if I don't have a good folder. Basically, if I put so I can make a shortcut here, and I can browse. So let's say I want to make a shortcut to my documents folder. So now if I click this, it's going to open my documents folder. But I could also put that over here. So if I click this, it opens my document folder. And it's just a quick way if you want to get to a certain folder in your file manager, just to quickly move around and get to certain documents. It's just it's more an efficient way of doing things. That can be very useful if you like efficiency and you want to get things done faster instead of wasting time here and there trying to find something or something you use all the time. You can create shortcuts on your window here. You can also create folders directly, like at the folder that you always get to, like your school folder. You can just create it directly on your desktop and then put everything in here instead of trying to find it every time. So that's just a lot of little things you can do with your computer, shortcuts and whatnot. I will put in the description a Google document that you guys can view with just a list of all the shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts I did in this video. I will also try to put a difference between macOS and Windows Linux, so hopefully you guys, I'll see if I can find all the ones for macOS as well that I did not remember for this video. So, see you guys in the next video.